safety in the country. What was it about Alabama?
LSU Tigers, #1. Go Tigers.
And the next 4 years, I'm going to Denver University.
Call into the Neighbors Wealth Management Hotline, 256-576-4977. Now, here's D Squared.
Welcome, everyone, to the Friday edition of the Recruiting Blitz on Blitz Sports Radio. I'm D Squared, Drew DeArmond. We have a very special show today. We did this a couple weeks ago on the ladies' side. We had good friend Becky Plott, of course, longtime athlete and coach and administrator in our community. She brought her daughter, Ashlyn Plott, after she made some history, signing with Faulkner University, being the first young lady from the JP2 women's program to extend her career. They sat in with us in studio. We've got two very special guests in studio this morning. One I go back a long way with, back to my days at Hibbett Sporting Goods. If you guys, any of you guys out there, used to cohabitate there with the Hibbett Superstore. No longer with us, but one of my guests here that's the first time I met him, and now his son has become the latest in a long line of, we're very blessed in our community as far as Division I basketball athletes. He just recently signed on May the 4th with Tarleton State University, the Texans, and is going to play for Billy Clyde Gillespie. We're very excited for him, and we've got him in studio today with his father, and of course that's Izzy and Daryl Miles. There are two guests, and first I'm going to welcome Izzy to the program. Izzy, man, congratulations on signing the scholarship and realizing a dream. I know you put a lot of time in, but welcome to the show. How are you this morning?
Yeah, I'm doing good, and I really appreciate that. But yeah, I'm doing really good.
Yeah, it's exciting time, no doubt. And also we've got his father, Daryl, here. He's a prominent ad executive with Channel 48. Of course, knows my co-host on our sister station on ESPN 97.7 The Zone, Scott Tyson, very well. They work together. Daryl was a great athlete in his own right in the Pac-12 with Cal Berkeley. Also played for his time with the Oakland Raiders, now the Las Vegas Raiders. But he is with us as well. Been a long-time advocate of high school athletics. He helps coach the football program over there at Grissom High School under Rich Dutton. His son, Jordy, is another young athlete that we may be having a conversation about in another couple of years. But he's here with us in the studio as well. Daryl, welcome. How are you, man?
I'm great. Thanks for having me. Appreciate being here.
Yeah, no doubt, Daryl. And I guess first, I'll start with you, Daryl. You were a guy that we met many years ago, back in the early 2000s, when you first moved to Huntsville and moved to Alabama. Yeah. And it's so, I always tell the story very interesting. You and I would talk and converse on the job, and I had a feeling you were an athlete, but I didn't really know how far back it went and what level. And then we started talking one day, and we went back into your days on the high school level and playing at Cal Berkeley, and then for a time in the NFL. And then, of course, you got married and had a family. But how has it been, kind of watching your sons develop and become the athletes and being able to support them?
That's just a dream come true, to be honest. You always want the best for your kids, and me being an athlete, that's really what I wanted them to be able to experience. Just what it feels like to be a scholarship student athlete and a Division I player. So, of course, just to see your dreams come true and see their hard work come to fruition, I mean, it's hard to put into words. I mean, like you said earlier, it's somewhat surreal for them to, like I say, see their dreams come to fruition.
Yeah, it really is. It's been an amazing journey, no doubt about that. And Izzy, we've enjoyed watching you. I mean, basketball has changed a lot, and what I mean by that, and it's a positive thing. In my day, and I was a mid-'90s guy in this city, if you saw someone, even as a sophomore, play a lot of varsity basketball and start, it was quite it was eye-opening. You didn't see a lot of freshmen play a lot. You didn't see many sophomores. It was mostly dominated with juniors and seniors. but you're a guy that was a prominent member of the Grissom program from the time you were a freshman. You and R.J. Johnson both played, really were 4-year starters. But talk about your time at Grissom and being able to start your career early and then kind of develop and be a guy that played a lot of varsity basketball.
Yeah, well, just first getting there, having a different role and having to transition from that new role and going from being mainly a shooter my first year and then having to transition into a main scorer my sophomore and junior and senior year. It's just been tough transitioning from my freshman to sophomore year, but with my our athletic trainer, with Coach Doss that he brought in, he's just helped me a lot develop my game and really bring it to that next level.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and that's the thing that I admired watching you during your career is the way you your game evolved and how much better you got. And certainly that also was lockstep with the program. The program was rebuilding when you got there at Grissom. Mm-hmm. Certainly the last 2 years there's been a ton of success. Certainly 20-plus win seasons, and of course got you guys a lot of recognition. Certainly it helped you reach the Alabama-Mississippi All-Star game. We'll talk about that. That was a very positive experience for you, yes, certainly. But I guess, first of all, though, talk about your career as a whole. I mean, we know Coach Doss took over the final 3 years of your career and came in. But talk about when you first got to Grissom and with you and RJ, that's a big jump there when you go from middle school basketball, where I know you had a lot of success, to going on the varsity level. What kind of adjustment was that for you when you first? Because you're going to have the same kind of jump when you're going to, mm-hmm, major Division I basketball. But just talk about the jump from middle school to high school and how you had to adjust.
Honestly, it was just a lot faster. So middle school, it was kind of slow. I was taking over a little bit. And then once I got to that varsity level, I just realized I wasn't fast enough. I wasn't really as strong as the other guys. And really one thing that stuck out to me was my passing. It wasn't strong enough. So, but I feel like this coming year, transitioning from high school to college, I feel like I'm working on that this summer. So that doesn't happen this upcoming year. Mm-hmm. So yeah. I'm going to be working on most of that stuff.
And the amazing thing is, you and I connected once again. You were supporting Jamari Man Arnold when he signed with North Georgia. You were over there at Huntsville High. But the amazing part is how quickly the process starts now, because you're only going to be here another 2.5 weeks or so. Yes, you're going to be on the road. You're going to be moving out there to Texas, to Tarleton State, and you're going to be leaving out. What did you say, June the 7th?
Yes, sir, June the 7th.
Yeah, so I kind of talk about that. That's kind of a whirlwind because you're hitting the ground running, literally.
Yeah, it's coming real fast. It's really just about getting prepared for the summer, because I know Coach G, he's going to work us pretty hard and just prepare us for that upcoming season. So
yeah, no doubt. And Daryl, you certainly went through this. You played at a very high level in the Pac-12. You played professional football. How did you counsel Izzy when he was going through this process? Because for you, back when you were recruited, it was a lot different. The calendar was a lot different. Visits were a lot different. He's had to go through the COVID era now and the transfer portal era, and there's all this stuff, because it's really even changed a lot in the last 5 to 10 years than how in basketball and football now. But how did you kind of try to counsel Izzy?
Wow, that's a good question. I think it was kind of different for everybody. I mean, COVID was very different. But I will say, when COVID hit, we really took advantage of that time. The only thing you can kind of do was go outside. So we were at the gym. We were at Challenger Middle School, out there daily,
every day,
working on our game, weight vests, just all the extra things that you do to be a Division I athlete. And I think that's what I know to bring to the table. Everybody can go to practice. That's your job. But to separate yourself is what you do extra. So that transition was just putting that into them. Do the work, they will come. If you're working, each year you should be able to develop your game and get better. It was almost like a Michael Jordan thing. Each year he would, hey, I need to work on my defense. I need to work on my shot. So just try to help develop, all the things that Izzy is good at now. I think he just took that and ran with it. But the weight room really, really helped him.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I'm going to transition to that, Izzy. I'm going to have you talk about the trainer that Coach Adalis brought in. I know he's a local guy, but we'll give him. I want to give him a specific shout out. You know,
Right.
talk about him specifically and the things you guys worked on.
He's a great guy. But we work on a lot of agility, explosiveness. It's just like a lot of fast paced working out. So when we work out, we do things really fast paced. So that helps us with our endurance, explosiveness, and it's just really brought me a long way.
And then for our listeners, just tell everybody his name. You know, the trainer.
Yeah. Brandon Horton.
Yeah, I was
Coach
going to
Brandon
say
Horton.
Brandon. Just give Brandon a shout out because
Yeah, for sure.
you know, he's done a lot of work with you guys. I saw how you guys transformed physically, especially from how far you came as a freshman to now, and your explosiveness playing above the rim. Certainly, we saw you do that the last 2 years quite a bit. And that's helped you develop as a player, no question about it. But you ended up being all Tennessee Valley, and then of course the MVP of the Alabama-Mississippi game. We're going to talk about that in just a couple of minutes. But for everybody who's listening, though, tell us how for you the recruiting process was different, because I know you started getting some offers last summer when you guys were playing in June. I remember, I think we were over in Gunnersville when you got the Troy offer. But just kind of talk about how the process has changed, because the transfer portal makes it more difficult now when guys can move around. Now it can be a benefit too. Like if you go somewhere and play well, you can maybe get some other opportunities. We had Chaney Johnson in here. He was a late bloomer. He was 6'3" when he was coming out of Alabaster and Thompson High School. Shot up to 6'7", played very well at UAH, and now he's going to get to play 2 years in the SEC. But kind of talk about your recruiting process and how it evolved.
Honestly, it's been pretty crazy. I think the first time a coach reached out to me was about sophomore year. So that's when COVID hit, and it was actually Mercer. So it's just been really up and down since then. A lot of D1s have came in, a lot of D1s have came out, a lot of JUCOs, D2s, but it's been pretty steady with D1 interest. Coming into my junior year, I got that Troy offer, and then it was some people that committed before me, so they didn't have any more scholarships left for there. And then it's just really, ever since then, it was a few D1s and just a whole bunch of junior colleges just offering me and trying to get me on visits and a lot of that. And then Coach G came in late after the season, watched a lot of my film. He decided to pull the trigger on me.
And don't listen, for our listeners, when he's referring to Coach G, it's Billy Clyde Gillespie.
Yeah.
And for you basketball aficionados out there, this is a guy that at one time was the head coach at Kentucky, had a lot of success at Texas A&M, which really rocketed him up for that opportunity at UK. He went to Texas Tech, and then he went back to the JUCO level in Texas, and now at back to Tarleton State. He's working his way back up the ladder, has a lot of ties to the Lone Star State, but has an eye for talent. He's certainly had a lot of success on the Division I level, and so that's an exciting opportunity. For our listeners, talk about your interactions with Coach Gillespie. I know he's trying to work his way back up, as we just said, but he's a guy that guard-oriented. He had a lot of good guard play at Texas A&M. He recruited well when he was at Kentucky, at Texas Tech. But talk about your interactions with him and the way he recruited you.
Yeah, well, he really got me by just me knowing he has a lot of faith in me. He tells me that every day. He believes in me. He wants me to be a leader from the jump, and I really feel like I can do that. So, and he really believes that he can develop me to be where I want to be, which is to go to the next level.
Yeah, no doubt about that. You certainly have the athletic ability and the genes, and I think you've got a very bright future. There's no question about that. If you continue as you continue your journey, and Daryl will bring you back into for that conversation. Certainly, you played on the Division I level in football. You were on these visits with Izzy. You got a chance to interact with these coaches recruiting him. What is a family? It's always a family decision when you decide where your son's going to go. What impressed you about Tarleton State, and what impressed you about Coach Gillespie?
Wow, Coach Gillespie was just real. You could tell he's very experienced, and the one good thing that stood out about Coach Gillespie is he was the one recruiting Izzy.
very
Not an
nice.
assistant coach, which of course Coach Johnson's assistant coaches are great, but to have the head coach communicating, calling Izzy, calling myself, it's just showed that he was totally in. And nothing against any other coaches that recruited Izzy, but my experience and what I've always told Izzy, you want to go somewhere where you feel comfortable and where you're wanted. And Coach Gillespie, from the first conversation all the way through the process, he was a man of his word. The campus is beautiful. Everyone is involved, engaged. The president actually has a house there on campus.
Yeah.
So it's a whole nother level in Texas. And I'm excited for Izzy, and I'm excited to see what comes out.
Well, and I guess for that's another good segue there, and Izzy, you can talk about it. For the listeners, when did you? I know they offered you later in the process when Billy Gillespie got very interested in you, and that's you guys going into detail about the personal touch you took in the recruiting process is very, very interesting. Talk about when you took the official visit and everything. When did that take place?
That actually didn't take place not too much longer after he had offered. Yeah. But yeah, he had offered me in about two or 3 weeks. He had flew me, my dad, and my mom out. And yeah, about in April. And then I just fell in love with it, and I signed up there.
Yeah, and there's no doubt. Did you how long did it take you when you got back from the visit? Of course, you want to take things in, you want to decompress, and then you discuss it with your parents. How long did it take you to decide that you knew that place was the one for you for the next step in your career?
It didn't take long at all. I knew really as soon as I got up there. I hit it off with the players, coaches. It was just easy to communicate with them. I could see when they were having fun. I could see when they were taking it serious, and it just really felt like the one, honestly.
Yeah, well, that's awesome, man. It's certainly a great accomplishment for you. It's yet another Division I student athlete for us here in our community. We've been so blessed in basketball. It's one of the things that we kind of brag about, that we consider ourselves the hub here in North Alabama for the entire state, really, with the competition level and the emphasis we put on basketball here. It's what's enabled me to build this show and my at our sister station 97.7 The Zone. You heard you guys came in. We were finishing talking ball this morning. I've been doing this 8 years, and a lot of my motivation for doing it was I could kind of see the media market changing. That newspapers were kind of being de-emphasized. I didn't think that high school coaches and student athletes were being given enough of a voice. I always felt like local's what sells, local's what people want to hear. They want to have coaches and student athletes and parents be able to have a voice and be heard. And I've been very blessed to be here at 97.7 The Zone and here now at the Blitz Sports Radio. We've done so well. We've now been able to expand to this streaming channel, but it was very exciting. And every time we were able to see a student athlete, we had Jamari on when he committed to North Georgia. Certainly, we're going to talk to his father in the very near future as well, because he's another, like your dad, someone that played at UNA football-wise and was a prominent student athlete here in our community. And he's seen his son reach the college level. And like Christian Swears said at Jamari's ceremony, and I'm sure it was being reiterated when I was watching the coverage of yours, this is a very special thing because your father was part of the 1% to 2%. You're part of it now. It's very, very rare to even get a chance to play collegiate athletics, and especially on the Division I level, it takes a lot of work and sacrifice, and you certainly did that. There's no doubt about it. But we're excited about the opportunity for you. And before we go on break, though, I want to tell the listeners, please continue to support us. We've been going strong with this streaming channel on the Blitz Sports Radio since late July. It's almost been a year now. But please support our sponsor right now, Alumni Hall. They are part of the Bridge Street Town Center. They were down just from the Apple Store for many years. Now they've moved next to Belk, and they will be there temporarily until August, until they move into their new digs, which will be even larger, the largest square footage store they've ever had, which will be next to Buckle. That will be in August. But Andy and those people over there, they're great folks. They're hiring for the summer. They can take care of any of your Alabama and Auburn needs. When you've got people like Izzy's going to be graduating next week, in the end of next week, I've got a cousin graduating tonight over in Gunnersville. So there's a lot of folks graduating high school and college. They can take care of your Alabama and Auburn needs. And if you want to go to their online store, they can take care of a lot of other different schools for you. AlumniHall.com. They have the rewards program, the Hall Pass rewards. Every $150 you get 10 free bucks. You can stack those. And that's very exciting to do. Also, you can get on their email list. They'll tell you when they have special sales going on. So just please support Alumni Hall and alumnihall.com. And also download our app, the Blitz Sports Radio app, the Google Store, the Apple Store, so you can hear testimony like this from a great student athlete and his father. We have Izzy and Daryl Miles in the studio today. It's a very special show, and you can listen to us 9 to 10 a.m. each Monday through Friday. And don't forget, later this afternoon, you'll have the Bandy Man, Bailey Lowry, my producer, and his co-host, Captain Cool, John Abraham. They will be with the afternoon blitz from 2 to 4. And if you want to listen to some Alabama baseball, you can go to our sister station, 97.7 The Zone. They're going to be playing a doubleheader today. We're the home of Alabama Athletics at 97.7 The Zone. They've had to move to a doubleheader due to weather coming in tomorrow. There's been a lot of rain going through the area, as you know, in Alabama this week. So they're going to play a doubleheader starting at 2 to wrap up the SEC regular season against Ole Miss. But a lot going on, and we're talking Tarleton State Texans basketball with Izzy Miles and Daryl Miles, very special guests. But we're going to continue that conversation when we come back from this break here on the Blitz Sports Radio. Stay with us, everyone.
This is Wes Neighbors with Philip with Eagle Insulation, and we have an announcement to make.
Yes, Wes, we are now Eagle Masonry and Insulation. Still a place to call for your installation needs, but now we offer masonry services.
What kind of masonry projects can you handle?
Wes, no job is too big, no job is too small. We can do renovations, new construction, outdoor fireplaces, fire pits, brick landscape borders.
Well, when you came out to my house, you did both the insulation and masonry at the same time. You guys did rock for me, you did brick for me, and you insulated my house. That's usually done at the same time that you're building a house.
Absolutely. It really capitalizes on two services you need at the same time, and you can get one company to handle both of those.
Philip with Eagle Insulation will come out, do your installation. He'll do your masonry. They do a great job. They guarantee your work. Check out more online at insulatedwitheagle.com and schedule your free examination today. 256-755-1556.
Thanks, Wes.
At Bryant Bank, we believe your goals are worth chasing, and every step along the way is worth celebrating. From your hopes for the future to the challenges that keep you up at night, we're here for you. Bryant Bankers put care into action to help you live legendary by stepping up when you need us most and doing what's right even when no one is watching. Come experience a local bank whose people greet you by name and treat you like family. Bryant Bank, member FDIC.
With us today, Dr. Tracy Lowry of Best Vein Care of Huntsville.
When we evaluate a patient and they indeed have significant venous disease, most third-party payers, private insurance, Medicare, require us to treat every patient conservatively at least 90 days. Conservative treatment includes increasing ambulation, elevation of the legs, and the wearing of compression stockings. It's very common for folks to come see us in March or April wanting to have their veins fixed before they go into swimsuits starting in June. When we see someone in March or April, they're going to require at least 90 days of conservative treatment before we can even go to the insurance carrier to get permission to treat their veins. So if you think you have a venous problem, now is the time to come in and get a free screening so we can determine whether or not you need something evaluated. If you have a vein problem or you think you may have a vein problem, now's the time to contact us at bestveincarehuntsville.com.
Tom Abraham here for my friend Brian Hamaker and his team at North Alabama Mortgage. Look, buying a home is the biggest purchase you will make in your life, and it can be a bit intimidating, so you want people that can help walk you through the mortgage process and get you the best deal possible. That's what North Alabama Mortgage does, and they do it in Alabama, Tennessee, and Florida, from first-time purchases to refis, conventional, VA, FHA, and USDA loans. They have the solution at North Alabama Mortgage. Visit NorthAlabamaMortgage.com to learn more. That's NorthAlabamaMortgage.com.
Renowned sports artist Daniel A. Moore has teamed with master sculptor David Grieco to create Finish, the first in a line of limited edition bronzes. See the artist's work on Finish now at newlifeart.com. Finish captures Kenyon Drake's dive into the end zone after his 95-yard kickoff return in the 2016 National Championship game. Available in 3 sizes with the artist and Kenyon Drake signatures cast into each piece. Pre-casting prices are available at newlifeart.com. Hurry, this offer won't last long.
Welcome back to the Blitz Sports Radio here. We're hearing about the halfway point. As we said, very special show today. We've got a student athlete that's reaching the highest level of basketball, and that's major Division I hoops. Whether you reach the Group of 5 level or you reach the Power 5, Division I basketball is the elite. Izzy Miles is going there. And we're talking some Charlton State basketball. Billy Clyde Gillespie, outstanding coach. And, of course, we're talking to his father, Darren Miles, who experienced many of the same things on that level back in the late 80s, early 90s at Cal Berkeley. If anybody remembers Bruce Snyder, Russell White, they had some really good teams during his day at Cal. And he went on to also reach the NFL level with the then Oakland Raiders, now the Las Vegas Raiders. So, but it's been great catching up with Daryl. Been great talking to Izzy about his experience, and we're certainly looking forward to seeing him next year. But Izzy, I'm going to bring you back into the conversation here. What about? I know you kind of talked about how Billy Clyde Gillespie recruited you, but what does he see as your role in the program going into year one for our listeners to kind of talk about that?
He sees me as being a point guard, a leader that can really, that can really do it all. If he needs me to come off a screen and dunk on somebody, that's what I can do. And if he needs me to come off and run the offense or come down, hit a clutch 3, that's what I'll be doing. I just really think he believes in me and believes in what I can do.
Well, and it's interesting because at your days at Grissom High School, you did both. You played on and off the ball.
Exactly.
So right now, it's interesting that he's watched all your film. We kind of talked about that during the break. He broke down just about all your games once he was tipped off that you had flown under the radar. You were still looking to go Division I. You'd had interest, but we talked about how crazy that process can get. It's kind of a cat and mouse game with the transfer portal. But talk about maybe playing more on the ball. Now, because this year you did a little bit of both at Grissom. At times when RJ was on the floor, he was a facilitator. You facilitated some. But talk about playing on the ball early on for Billy Clyde Gillespie.
It's going to be different, and I think that's what he's gonna develop me to be this summer. So when we get to the season, that it'll be a good sight to see.
That's interesting because, too, now you can enroll earlier and start working out with your teammates.
Yeah.
And I'll ask because I'm sure he's told you, they've sent you probably the off-season program, what you're going to be doing once you move in. And we talked about you leaving, being over there by June the 7th. There's a lot of teams, like even I was talking to, Marcus Arnold, Jamari's dad. North Georgia's going to Greece. They're going over.
Yeah.
Is Charlton State taking any kind of trip, or how is their off season going?
It's a lot of elite camps. So we're gonna be doing a lot of camps, and just we work out 4 days a week, and we as long as practicing 4 days a week.
That's interesting. I wanted to see kind of how their process went with and how they handled the off season. So what are you going to be enrolling in summer school? How is that going to go?
Yeah, I'll be taking 1 to 2 classes this summer, and then it's really just development and getting used to the school system and stuff like that.
Well, I mean, and it'll probably it's going to be different, and we already talked about you had to adjust from the speed of the game from middle school to high school to now Division I, and I know that was a topic you were talking to some basketball people at Jamari's signing about how the speed is going to be different, which I'm sure you're already trying to kind of prepare yourself mentally for. So that's what a lot of it is. It's here. You have to kind of be ready. But I know Brandon Horton helped you a lot with the last 3 years of the strength program he put you on. I know this is a part of it that some people don't focus on, but I'm sure you met all the whole staff at Tarleton. Talk about maybe their strength and conditioning program and what they've told you to expect about that.
Oh yeah, it's going to be definitely hardcore. They have 2 master class weight trainers.
Wow.
Yeah, and they'll have a lot more like graduate assistants. So like we'll have at least 2 working with each player at every station that we'll be working at. So it's pretty high level.
Yeah, I mean, I can tell, Daryl, I can tell by the way your reaction that you were very impressed by that. Certainly, as a Division I athlete as you were yourself at a high level, strength and conditioning and preparation goes into a lot of this. But talk about that aspect of it that you were impressed with, and when you guys went on the visit, and I know you've interacted with a lot of those guys.
Yeah, the strength and condition really blew my mind. I didn't know that there was only 100 in the country of master trainers, and they have 2.
Grandmaster, master class.
Yeah, so they have the highest qualification. I mean, and you can just see when we were there, the football team was actually there as well. I mean, you can just see the dedication in those guys and their bodies, even their basketball players. I mean, they I think they have some pickup runs. You can just really see the separation from the strength and conditioning of that program, and I'm really, really impressed.
Yeah, and Izzy, I know you said you had a chance to interact with a lot of your future teammates. Were you able to play a little pickup, play with those guys, and then what was that like?
Yeah, it was. I actually did. We just played 5-on-5 for about an hour and a half. It was a good experience. Actually, they actually said I scored the most out of all the recruits on the visit. Nice. So yeah, it was a really good experience and good feel for the college level.
Yeah, no doubt. It certainly was. It's got to be an exciting time for you. And I know this is the academic side. Obviously, Daryl went to a very high-level academic school. Cal Berkeley is one of the best in the country. Do you know yet what you want to kind of major in academically? What is your academic plan early, or is it something you're going to kind of have to get a feel for?
Yeah, probably something I'm going to have to get a feel for. I might. I'm thinking about going undeclared this first year, maybe, and then just filling out what I want to do along my career.
Yeah, and I know I noticed on your social media and Daryl's as well. It was pretty neat. Like, I know you guys always kind of take a look at the schedule coming up. You're going to have some opportunities to get some high-level programs, and that's another reason when you go to a place like Tarleton State, if they're Division I already, you know, with Billy Clyde's connections, you guys are going to get a chance to play against some high-level comp. That's got to be exciting too, because you'll get a chance to showcase your talent.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we'll be playing Tennessee on December 21st.
Awesome.
Yeah, he's going to be getting some really big games for us to play in.
And will that game be in Knoxville?
It will be. Yes, sir.
See, that's a 3-hour drive, so that's a lot of supporters can go see you play there. That's a neat thing, and also I'm sure there'll be some SEC Network Plus or SEC Network coverage to be able to see you play. So that's very exciting, no doubt about that. And so certainly looking forward to it. I guess I know it's still kind of fresh in your mind, but what is your favorite memories, though, at being a Grissom Tiger and playing? We certainly enjoyed watching it. We know you had a very positive experience and a good one. We hate it wasn't at the Huntsville City Classic because that's a huge event for us.
Yeah.
But you guys got a chance to have your own experience over in Arkansas in a high-level event and talk about playing in that event. And I know you played very well, it looked like.
Yes,
I was trying to follow that as you guys were winning. You guys won games over there and played well. But talk about that experience you had.
Well, it was more of a bond. I think we really came together as a team.
Yeah.
Building a relationship over there, it was really amazing. And we didn't come out with the ending we wanted. We did win one game, but it just wasn't the ending we wanted. But I also got all tournament of that tournament. Averaging around 21 points in that tournament, and
but you guys played against some high-level squads. I mean, that was exciting, and you did get a dub, which helps our area. So we can have teams that go out of state and win. I thought it was still very positive. And again, and you played in I still say the toughest area in the state. For your entire career, when you talk about 7A basketball, when you talk about Huntsville program, Sparkman, and then you guys. I mean, trust me. When I was in school, it was just as tough. Huntsville High. We had some really good teams. It was hard to get out of area because we had Lee, Johnson, and Butler, and then Huntsville. All 4 of us were ranked at one time.
Yeah.
And I know Albertville, was kind of struggled. But when you're talking about 3 top 10 teams, that's really difficult. But I think it also helped iron sharpened iron a little bit and helped you in your career.
Yeah, for sure it did.
Yeah, no doubt about it. What are your most positive memories? I know it's, again, fresh, but playing at Grissom, helping turn the program around, make it relevant again. What's your favorite memories of being a part of the program over there and playing?
Honestly, really the grind to be the greatest was probably the best memories. Just working hard every day. We going 2-a-days. Just building relationships was really the best part, and it's something we'll never forget.
Yeah, no doubt. And Daryl, I know as we've kind of hinted, we're not done here. Certainly you have another son who's a prominent student athlete who, shout out, he just got a couple of Division I offers in football to UAB in Central Michigan. Love Coach Jim McElwain, one of my favorite people, and he's over there at Central Michigan. But Jordy, of course, is a edge player, defensive end for Coach Dutton. He's playing your sport, football. He's still pretty early in his recruiting process. I know he started making the camp rounds last year. How has it been for Jordy, though, so far? I know he just turned 16.
Yeah, it's been exciting as well for Jordan. And honestly, that was the dream for both of the boys, to be football players, because I had the blueprint.
Yeah.
And Izzy shocked me when he, declared, hey, at 12, Dad, I want to do basketball. And then Jordan, of course, followed, which I was proud of Izzy because he was able to stand up and say, hey, this is what I want to do, and I'm good, and I'll show you. And then same for Jordy. Like I said, when he followed Izzy and got out of football for 2 years, he was trying to find his way, and I was proud of Jordan because at 14, he had the same sit-down talk with me and said, Dad, I don't want to give up basketball. I want to go back to football. And just to have your kids be able to have that awareness of themselves and what they want and be able to make that decision early, I mean, again, I couldn't be more excited. And Jordan has earned his third offer from Alcorn State last night.
That. Yep.
So that's just, I mean, his upside is amazing. Like I say, he had moved to Florida State. We have a few camps coming up. We'll be at Troy on the 2nd. We'll be at, like I say, Florida State on the 11th. So Jordan's just working hard, and again, it's all stems back, just like I said, from the blueprint. I mean, we can all go to practice, but what are you going to do extra to separate yourself? And I think he's taking that to heart, and the results are coming.
Well, I'm excited for that opportunity. Here at both on ESPN 97.7 The Zone, our sister station, and here on the Blitz Sports Radio, we're huge John Summerall fans. We know what he did at Grissom High School and what he's doing in the coaching fraternity and the profession. The season they had at Troy was amazing in year one. He's building something special over there. That'd be a great opportunity to showcase Jordy's talents over there, man. Jordan could maybe hopefully earn an offer from Troy soon. Certainly, as you said, he just got that offer from Alcorn State, so he's already racking in some offers. That's big, especially when you're talking about just the beginning of his, I believe it was his junior year. So he's got 2 full years left to play, but already, that's kind of when you start making your hay, man. When you're a junior, when you start becoming a prominent prospect, and certainly we've seen Izzy do that, and Izzy took it on through his senior season. But again, the recruiting process sometimes can be, have a lot of peaks and valleys, but it's all about where you come out and all about opportunity. And Izzy, certainly you're going to have a great one at Charlton State. And talk about, I guess, for us, to educate us, because we don't get a chance to see Charlton play a lot. Yeah. I know Billy Clyde Gillespie, certainly Coach Gillespie sold you on this. What kind of playing style is he going to have at Charlton?
He really just he goes off of his players. So we're going to see how he come in this summer. He's really just going to base it off what he has, and he's going to really go from there.
Mm-hmm. Going to be interesting because I know, as we said earlier in the conversation, he's been a guy that really was showcased guard play. And I know he's a really good defensive coach too. Mm-hmm. I mean, he built his backbone on defense. So, but you certainly improved there and got better each and every year defensively at Grissom High School.
Yes,
but no question about that. So we're excited for your opportunity there. And I still think the biggest thing is, You've shown dramatic improvement each and every year in high school. You can take that next jump, especially when you're playing against Division I caliber athletes every year. Certainly, we saw Brandon Horton help you with your explosiveness. Mm-hmm. You're always a good athlete. You have great genes, but I really thought you took a big leap athletically in the last year. And I think that upside is what Coach Gillespie saw when he broke down all your film. And I know you got to be really excited to get started. So I'm going to ask, too, as far as the guys that you're returning, how many players or how much experience is returning on the roster at Charleston?
It'll be four guys coming back.
Right.
That'll be, I think this will be their last year, and one of them has 2 more years. Mm-hmm. So it'll be some experience floating around in the group, and I'm just as an upcoming freshman, I'll just really still be trying to lead just so I can get where I want to be. Me and Coach G, we have that talk all the time. He calls me every day, just wants me to be a leader.
Man, that's great, and just I would just say too, don't rush the process. And what I mean by that is, he's got a plan for you. Take your time. Your time is going to come. It certainly came at Grissom High School, and I thought you were a guy that no matter what happened this year on and off the court at Grissom, you did a great job at staying the course, being a leader for your team. We just talked about the experience you averaged. You made all tournament in a high-level tournament over in Arkansas, averaged 21 points. I thought you had a great stretch run down there, and we're going to take a break here. But when we come back, we're going to talk about your experience at the Alabama-Mississippi game. That was a great one, and I think that really helped catapult the last phase of your recruitment because you and both Jamari Arnold was, and I think, Coach Swears and I talked about it, I think it was the first Huntsville High kid to ever be able to play in that game. But that's a really big honor. We'll talk about when we come back because you're representing your state on your chest, and you get a chance to play in front of a lot of people and college coaches and other people around the state of Alabama to see how good you are. But we're going to talk about that and more when we come back, as we'll have one more segment with Daryl and Izzy Miles. We appreciate them for coming into the studio live today. And again, keep supporting our streaming channel here, the Blitz Sports Radio with D Squared. Download the app, the Google Store, the Apple Store. We're on Monday through Friday from 9 to 10 a.m. Very exciting. We had Ashlyn Plott, Becky Plott just a couple weeks ago. We like doing these kind of sit-down interviews and giving you a look behind the curtain a little bit at these student athletes. And we hope you're enjoying the conversation. But we're going to wrap it up with our final segment when we come back following this break here on this Friday edition of the Blitz Sports Radio.
The Blitz has been called.
Are you looking for that right heating and air company to keep those winter blues away? Look no further than Talent Heating and Air. Thomas with us this morning. Thomas, locally owned, no better way to go.
That's right. We're based in Huntsville, so you're going to get timely service. Normally we can get to you within that day that you called.
And that number is?
It is 256-503-4490.
And you have special treats for our 97.7 ESPN The Zone listeners.
That's right. For all the listeners that mention this ad, they can get $1,000 off a unit replacement if they call in by the end of the year.
And that number again to call?
256-503-4490.
Thomas, we've given them the phone number to call, but you guys also have a website as well. Let our listeners know the website to find Talent Heating and Air.
Yeah, that website is talenthvac.com. You can schedule on that website, and we can get out to your house that same day a lot of times.
All right, one more time for our listeners. It's $1,000 off.
$1,000 off to the end of the year on 15 SEER and above units.
All right, it's Talent Heating and Air, locally owned right here in Huntsville. Give them a call today.
Here's Bobby White from Woody Anderson Ford on their service department.
President's Award winner 2 years in a row. That's only given to the top 10% of Ford dealers in customer satisfaction. So we're very proud of the service department. And our body shop. If you happen to get into an accident, which not a lot of people just want to go down and see a body shop, but if you get into an accident, award-winning body shop. We have state-of-the-art paint booths back there. They're waterborne paints that we use, friendly for the environment. We've got our production system, the way things are in and out. We have the fastest cycle rate in town of getting your vehicle in, getting your vehicle out, and assured that it's fixed right. We take pictures before it's wrecked, and not only after, but we take it as we're putting the parts on. All done to above industry standards. So I'm proud of our body shop too. Don't forget our parts department. So you don't have to need parts, performance parts, or just parts if you're a weekend mechanic.
Woody Anderson Ford, located at the corner of Jordan and Sparkman, as well as Hughes Road and Madison. You can also check out the great deals at WoodyAndersonFord.com.
With over 100 F-150s to choose from and available financing as low as 0%, now is the perfect time to put one in your driveway. It's Truck Month at Woody Anderson Ford. I'm Bobby White back again, inviting you to come on in for the best selection of F-150s we've had in a while. And if you find one that you like, there is no payment for 90 days. Also, during Truck Month, not only do you get 0% financing for up to 36 months, but we've also got 2.9% financing for 5 years on remaining 22 models with your good credit through Ford Motor Credit. This offer ends April 4th. And don't forget, we make it really easy for you to trade in and trade up on a Ford Blue Advantage Gold Certified or Blue Certified pre-owned vehicle. Great warranties, 24-hour roadside assistance, and you take it home with a full tank of gas and a fresh oil change. Hurry on in for Truck Month. 0% financing, no payments for 90 days, and over 100 F-150s to choose from. Woody Anderson Ford, hope to see you soon.
The safety oath. Repeat after me. I will safely bring safety to my facility and keep it safe. I will safely keep my people safe. I will put safety first in everything I do, and I will safely do so with Grainger. When you think safety, think Grainger. Grainger's got over 100,000 safety products to help keep our facility safe and our people safer. When it comes to safety, Grainger's got your back. Call clickgrainger.com/safety or stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Welcome back to our final segment of this Friday edition of the Recruiting Blitz on Blitz Sports Radio. It is our final show of the week, and it's a special one. We get a chance to talk to a prominent student athlete in our community who's getting ready to start his Division I journey at Tarleton State with the Texans and Billy Clyde Gillespie, and that is Izzy Miles, who was all Tennessee Valley with Grissom this past year. And then had the big honor of going to the Alabama-Mississippi All-Star game over in Mobile. I believe it was played at the Mitchell Center at South Alabama. It was on March the 11th, and he saved his best for last as he was MVP of the game, and that's something that he'll take with him for the rest of his career. And it's very exciting as he scored 12 points and did a great job facilitating in the contest, played above the rim. Izzy, first of all, when you got the call to know you were going to kind of represent your state, what kind of thrill was that for you, getting a chance to do something like that?
It was really just an honor. Yeah, it was really just an honor. Just knowing I could really represent my state and represent the school. I'm not sure how many players before me had gotten that honor to go and play against one of the top or most of the top people in Mississippi. And I know Butter got that honor to do it, but I was just really excited to go out there and show what I could do.
Yeah, 12 points, 4 rebounds, and an assist. But then to go out and have an MVP performance, that had to be really satisfying for you because, again, it's something that you improved every year, improved your game. You played alongside a kid in R.J. Johnson that was prominently recruited from the time he was young, but you had a chance to go out and make your own kind of legacy and be the MVP of an all-star game like that. That's something that'll be in the record books for for the rest of your life. That's got to be a pretty big thrill.
Yes, sir, I agree.
I mean, in your career, does that rate kind of near the top, that accomplishment, that afternoon?
Yeah, it probably is one of the top accomplishments.
Well, I mean, and you guys won 91-72 too.
Yeah.
I mean, you guys blew Mississippi out. I mean, for the most part, Alabama's got better basketball than Mississippi. No disrespect to that state, if anybody's listening, but Alabama I always feel like is stronger. But they went out and won 91-72 over there at the Mitchell Center. A beautiful place to play. And you played along with some other great players. I've seen John Broome win 2 state championships. Like yourself, I know he's going to actually play at South Alabama. That's where his next stop's going to be. But I think much like you, he was overlooked.
Yeah.
I think he's a major Power 5 player. He had some interest from schools like Clemson that kind of backed off, and he ended up at USA. I think he's going to be a really good player for Richie Riley. But, I mean, you were on the same team as him and yet to be the MVP, that's a pretty good accomplishment. Talk about that week of practice and being able to be a part of that.
It was really just – it was a fun time. All the coaches got along with the players. All the players got along with the players, and we built a great bond. And honestly, I feel like we will never forget that moment. Just times at the hotel, waking up, going to practice, and going to eat together. It was really good.
Well, and you played so well in the game, but how much confidence did it give you? Because I know you felt like you were a Division I student athlete and you had not committed yet, but going and having a week of practice against other guys that are going to be playing on that level, and then being MVP, how was that for you?
I was just going at them in practice because that's just what I do. I compete every time I'm on the floor. But yeah, it was really a good week of practice, and then going out there to show what we can do and beat the Mississippi guys. It's just a really good experience.
Well, and we kind of talked about it off the air when we went on our last break, but that kind of catapulted your the final part of your recruitment and led to ultimately landing at Charleston State. Is that correct?
Yes, sir. Yeah.
And so, kind of, how did Coach Gillespie see that game? How did that kind of springboard you to your decision?
So it was a few JUCOs came out there. One Western Texas, which actually sent my film to Coach Gillespie. He watched my performance, sent him film, and the rest is history.
There you go. And see, Daryl, we were kind of talking about that. It's about kind of timing. A lot of times that's what recruitment is. But you were being recruited by Western Texas, and they were certainly wanting to add Izzy to the roster. But you guys were still trying to decide which direction to go. I know prep school had been something you discussed a little bit, but then Charleston State comes in with that offer, and then it kind of changes everything. It's how the process goes.
Absolutely. And timing and just a blessing. I mean, that's all we can really say. Because from the first offer from Troy, like I said, over the summer was tough because we kind of wanted to bet on ourselves, and then at the point, at the season, of course, we had the bad luck of not getting out of area. Just didn't know what was going to happen. But again, we just stayed prayed up and stayed to the grind, like I always tell them. Just keep grinding and things will turn out, and it really did. And like I say, I think the Tarleton State coaching staff really saw the value in Izzy, and like Izzy said, the rest is history.
It's a neat thing though, because it kind of reminds me of Josh Jacobs, because when he went to Alabama, he didn't have any major offers coming out of high school. Wyoming, I know they were trying to hide him. They wanted to, and I know some other smaller programs, Tulsa in his backyard, because he didn't go to camps. I mean, he didn't. He was at a program, Booker T. Washington, that wasn't historically successful. So, but again, it's all about somebody believing in you. Somebody believed in him. They leaked his film out there. Missouri came calling. Then it got leaked to Alabama. Alabama came calling. Now you see what he's doing. So it's all about taking advantage of your opportunity. There's no doubt about that. And Izzy, I know that I think ultimately you being able to play well and well enough to attract the interest and get on that and be a part of that Alabama-Mississippi All-Star game. That just goes to show you. I mean, certainly you guys wanted to make a deep postseason run, get to Birmingham, but even playing against the high level of competition you did and being able to get to that Alabama-Mississippi game and show that people respected your work and what you got accomplished, that getting to that game and playing well, really, that just goes to show you're going to be an example for other student athletes that, look, man, you can't worry about what you can't control, but you just take advantage of opportunities, and talk about being able to take advantage of that opportunity and what it meant to you to be able to go to the Alabama-Mississippi All-Star game. And another part of it I like, too, is Jamari Arnold played in that game. And talk about kind of the way you guys – I know you're fierce rivals on the court. You compete. You just talked about competing all week in practice. But you competed against Jamari his whole career. But you came over to kind of pay respect to him, realizing the dream to go to college. Yeah. Talk about supporting each other and being a part of that Alabama-Mississippi All-Star experience with him.
Yeah, definitely. We really got along as soon as we got in the car together, because our coach actually took him to nice. South Alabama. So we had a 4 or 5 hour drive down there, just talking. We actually knew each other before, and we talked, but yeah, just getting to play alongside him, it was really an honor, and I feel like he'll definitely do great things in the near future.
Yeah, I think he's going to have a bright future at North Georgia, and I know everybody wanted to reach the Division I level, but it's like I try to tell them, it's opportunity, and now with the mobility of being able to move up, Chaney Johnson, we already mentioned him earlier in the conversation. If you ball out on the Division II level, There's a couple of cats at Nova Southeastern. They won the national championship. They've already one just committed to Georgia. So they've had a couple of guys move up to the Power 5 level. So again, whether you end up spending 4 years at Charleston State or whatever your journey goes, it's all about opportunity. And if you do move up, you played well there. But I know you're very excited to play for Coach Gillespie and that staff and the way they believe in you. And we're looking forward to seeing you. We certainly are proud of you. And you're joining a lot of great players that have come in here and been a part of this show and 97.7 The Zone. And we appreciate what you've done and the way you've represented yourself as a young man in the classroom and on the court. And we really are looking forward to the next step in your journey. And we just want to thank you for coming on the show.
Sir.
And Darrell, it's great to see you again, sir. And we look forward to probably doing this again in a couple years with Jordan and when he makes his decision. But we want to hope you have a great rest of your summer, safe travels to certainly Charleston State, and we look forward to following your journey very soon in the fall and in the winter. Congratulations to both of you.
Yes, sir. Appreciate you, Drew.
Thank you.
Yes, absolutely. We're going to wrap up this edition. Don't forget the afternoon blitz with the bandman Daily Lowry, Captain Cool, John Abraham later from 2 to 4 o'clock. But we'll talk to you on Monday, 9 a.m. Everybody have a great rest of your weekend. We'll talk to you on Monday.